Okay, guys, so thank you so much for coming on tonight. I am super excited about tonight's call because we have the honor of welcoming someone who I totally admire and couldn't have been more excited when I heard the news that she would be joining our Beachbody family, our Beachbody team. So Ilana Muhlstein is someone who she walks the talk. She's not just a registered dietitian nutritionist preaching to us on how to do something. She's lived it. And if you've seen her story, which hopefully she'll share with us a bit more about it tonight, she's lost over 100 pounds herself. And she's just she's brilliant. She's inspiring. She's beautiful. She's the total package. And she's exactly what we've needed here at Beachbody. So she also has some other things on her resume that stuck out to me that I thought were super cool, being part of the executive leadership team at the American Heart Association out in LA. And Alana, we want you to know that through this program, we have some of your test group participants are in our team. Hold on, I'm just going to mute people's lines here. So we have some of our test group participants that are on our team. And from what the feedback we've heard and just kind of watching them, not even talk about the program necessarily, just how they've been during the program, you are giving so many of us hope through To Be Mindset. And you're not just really presenting us with another diet program, you're actually teaching us how to live. And that to me is so inspiring and empowering, because that's the gift that we need, is that to learn how we can take this moving forward. And our team's made up of people from all different walks of life, and we just wanted to welcome you tonight. And this is what we've been waiting for. So if you don't mind, would you introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. You're so sweet. Sorry, everyone, that my hair is wet and then I'm like a total mess. And then I'm in my glasses and everything. It's just a crazy day. But I'm so happy to be on this call. So thank you all for being here. I know it's a different time and probably later where you are. So thank you for being here. If you don't know a little bit more about me, my name is Ilana Muhlstein. I'm so happy to see you all. Thank you all for having your videos on. I really appreciate that. I love seeing all your faces. And yes, I'm a registered dietitian. I'm actually wearing red because I have an American Heart Association event tonight that I have to go to. And yes, I have that background, but it's also all inspired by my own personal struggle with weight loss. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for that, introduction and saying that, like, I've lived it too, but I also do live it too. That's the best part of the To Be Mindset is like, it's really livable on a day-to-day basis. So I'll kind of explain what that means. So I personally struggled with my weight and my food my whole life. My parents did too. My whole family did too. My parents were always on a diet. They were always talking about the next hottest diet or what they were going to try. We were big foodies. So everything always revolved around food. And I kind of fell right into that swing. Every holiday was more about what we were going to bake for it. Every birthday party was more about like what birthday cake and pizza they were going to serve. Every carnival was about like the caramel popcorn and the cotton candy, like just totally food focused, food obsessed. Birthday parties, they have like the food part and then they have the activities. And like, I never made it to the activities because I was always, at that food table. And just very, very, very revolved around food and food focused. And I always loved to eat and lots of it. But then when my parents got divorced, when I turned 4, I think it also took a turn into just an emotional coping mechanism as well. So not only did I use food and abuse it for its celebratory purposes, but then I also used it as a form of stability when my life was just not stable. We moved around a lot. A lot of people in the house, out of the house, just kind of like a revolving door in that way. And so food was my staple. And eating lots of volumes of food and also just mindless eating, just we would end school and we would go to Starbucks and then get like a venti frappuccino, like with extra whipped cream and caramel sauce and the whole thing sip it while walking through the mall, like without paying any attention, and just lots of just mindless, emotional, frenzy eating. And not only was it impacting me socially, because I started getting a bigger belly than all the kids in school. I started not being able to share clothes with people on sleepovers. I started not being able to do the monkey bars or do ballet or do gymnastics because I was kind of getting poked fun at. Like, even though I was always friendly and I always had friends and I was always sociable, like I was very, very, very quickly turned into the fat kid, the big kid, the kid who didn't do things and couldn't do things like everyone else. And my doctor started becoming more and more concerned because in addition to me, feeling uncomfortable, my health was starting to take a toll. And I remember her showing us like the charts and how I was just kept climbing them and how I kept, being above the charts or, past that point of obesity. And how my blood sugar level started getting high, my cholesterol level started getting high, and it started being really scary and alarming. And like I was, one of those people who was too scared to go to the doctor as such a little kid. And every year my doctor visits would get more and more and more uncomfortable and embarrassing. And when I was 8 years old, my doctor finally had enough. And I'll never forget my doctor telling my parents at my checkup that it got to a point where she can't like just sit back anymore. And she like handed us a brochure to send me to weight loss camp, to fat camp. And she said, I just had to go. And my parents couldn't ignore it and they had to pull whatever resources they could. So at 8 years old, I could go off by myself to fat camp for 9 weeks, which is crazy, 9 weeks as an 8-year-old by myself in the youngest bunk of this camp where you have to exercise 10 hours a day, get all these like pre-portions, like dietetic meals. I had to get weighed in and measured, take before pictures, after pictures, have meetings with the nutritionist, like the whole deal. And as ridiculous as it seems, I actually loved it. Because at a very early age, I had a very positive association with weight loss. Like I just tried to make the most of it, look at it as summer camp, something different than everyone else was doing that summer. And when I got back, I got so many compliments. Like everyone was like, whoa, you look so good. And I felt good. My mom like took me to get new clothes and everything was, felt better. And I felt lighter and leaner, but at the same time, I just gained it all back because nothing changed. I just fell right back into my old ways. My parents didn't make any changes. I didn't make any changes. And so I gained all the weight back that I'd lost, and I gained more because you can gain a lot more weight in 10 months than you can lose in 2. And so what I did was I just went back to camp the next summer. And that became my pattern. And I did this yo-yo destructive dieting pattern for years. I'd go away every summer to diet camp. I would lose 30 pounds following the strict regimen. And then I'd come back and I'd gain it all back and more. And then I'd lose weight and gain it all back and more. And everyone just kind of let it happen because as long as I had camp, like it kind of helped make it so I wasn't so out of control. And like we all just kind of relied on this destructive pattern. But year after year, I just kept getting bigger and bigger. And at going into high school, I topped off at my highest weight. I was 215 pounds and I was only 5 feet 2 inches tall. And I was really big. I was 5'2", 215, and I had to like custom order size 20 online. I couldn't fit into adult stores and my friends were still shopping in kids stores. Like I had to go to fabric stores and seamstresses to put together like fancy outfits if we had a family wedding because I refused to walk into Lane Bryant, as a 13-year-old kid. So I was in a really bad place. Again, like I always felt confident from the outside and was sociable. But inside I was being severely weighed down by this 100 extra pounds that were plaguing me and getting in the way of like just living my best life. So I had to change my mindset and I needed a better way. And like I said, my whole childhood, I watched my parents do diets. I watched them lose weight fast and gain it back faster. And so I never, ever, ever wanted to do anything like that because I saw that they just don't work. And I always like to eat food and eat lots of it. So I had to find just a better system. So that summer I went into camp with just a whole different strategy. And I said, you know what, I'm going to lose as much weight as I can this summer. But when I get back to when I start high school, I'm not going to let myself gain it back this time. and I'm committed to figuring out a better system for myself. So I started really strategizing and thinking, like, what am I doing in the summer that I can do in the school year to at least make sure I don't gain my weight back? And I started really like theorizing, like, what are some tools that I can use, throughout the school year to at least make sure that I don't gain. Like, I don't have to lose more, but like when I went from 215 to 185, I said, like, let me at least just not get higher. And then I got really curious and I started wanting to learn more and more about how could I actually lose this weight on my own? So, my parents, I was always told, like, I have a slow metabolism, or we have fat genes, or, everything is working against us, or it runs in my family. And then meanwhile, I would like meet friends in high school who were at a healthier weight. Their families had a healthier mindset and relationship with food. And I would go to their homes and I'd realize, oh, wait, yeah, we might have a bad metabolism, but their dinner looks a lot different than my family's dinner. And when they're talking about an upcoming event, they're not just talking about what they're going to eat there. They're talking about like who they're going to see. Their mindset was just, their approach was different. They weren't exercising because they were on a strict diet and they want to lose weight. The mom was exercising because she's a runner and that's how she relieves stress. Like, I would just start like kind of picking out, meeting whoever I could who seemed healthier and happier, and trying to pick out like what are some things that they're doing that I could maybe implement into my own lifestyle. And it started working, and I started losing weight while eating a lot of food, staying sociable, for the first time in my life. And I decided that I always wanted to be a dietitian. Even as a young kid, I wanted to be a registered dietitian because I was seeing them as a little kid. I always thought nutrition was fascinating. And I always wanted an ability to talk about food, and also ensure that if I was going to make a career out of this, that I would be an expert in it, that I would have like the highest credentials for nutrition, and I'd really be able to, for myself, go about nutrition and weight loss in the most effective, healthiest, positive way, and that I would be sharing that most like credible, information with others. So then I went on to get my Bachelor of Science degree in nutrition and dietetics. I went on to become a registered dietitian. I later got my master's degree in nutrition. And all along, I, was still part of a sorority. I still partied. I still like was losing weight on my own while living my life. I met my husband. I got married. I had my daughter. I then lost my last 25 pounds when after having her, using the system and kind of bringing it all together. And UCLA hired me along the way when I was about 75 pounds down and already in RD. UCLA hired me and they said, okay, Alana, like, weight loss is, wants to be your specialty. Let's test it. And so UCLA hired me several years ago and they said, here's a 12-week seminar and here's 100 UCLA employees who need to lose 40 pounds or more. Teach them a course. And I had 12 weeks and 100 UCLA employees. And it was my first time really putting my philosophy and system into practice with others. And it was really interesting because the population was super diverse. So it ranged from 19-year-old cooks in the kitchens and janitors who were on their feet all day to 75-year-old secretaries and assistants who were sitting at a desk all day and they were post-menopause maybe. And then everything in between. I had people who were working overnight shifts as nurses, and then people with high education levels and low education levels, people who are wealthier and lived, closer to UCLA and Santa Monica and were professors, and people who were traveling 3 hours to work and really struggling with their finances, and people with every nationality, Hispanics, Italians, like people who were, fasting for Lent and everything like that. And I really had to understand the psychology of this diverse population and teach a general course to get all these people to lose weight. And in that first semester, it was successful. And in 12 weeks, the average weight loss was about 12 pounds. And UCLA was happy, but we wanted to improve it. So the next semester, I started thinking like trial and error. Like, what did I teach that first semester that was really effective, that really made a change for people? And what was like a waste of time and like not worth anyone's time and didn't make a difference. And in addition to teaching everyone in a group setting, I also got to meet with each person one-on-one. And one-on-one, I would start to really understand people, because one-on-one in an office setting and in my private practice in Beverly Hills, and then working with this group of people one-on-one, all these kinds of people, in privacy, they would be like, Alana, I have a secret for you. Like, I'm so embarrassed to admit this, but I'm really struggling with this. Or I keep self-sabotaging in this way. Or I can't get over my craving for this. Or, it's really this one thing that sets me off. And in privacy, with one-on-one, I would be like, oh my God, like, you're not the only one who feels that way. Everyone feels that way. Or that other lady felt that way. Or that other man felt that way. Or I feel that way. And I started realizing like that inner psychology and mental blockages that we create for ourselves in its relation to getting healthier and fitter and staying consistent with our lifestyle and these nutrition information. And I started creating more systems and more behavioral approaches to attack all of these issues. So every time I would hear this, like everyone say like, I have a craving for this, or I don't know what to do when I'm at like a Thanksgiving meal and stuff like that, where, calories and points and all that stuff like kind of go out the window. But what's the approach to the eating that I can make? And I started creating different processes and different like catchphrases and different like little sayings and workings to help uncover like how to help people stay consistent with their goals, overcome these internal obstacles so they can keep losing weight happily and so they can learn to keep it off for good. And I ended up teaching at UCLA for 10 semesters. And every semester, the weight loss would go from 12 pounds average to 14 pounds to 16 pounds to 18 pounds. And it kept getting better and better. And by my 10th semester there, the average weight loss was closer to like 25 pounds in 12 weeks. And while in my private practice, I was also seeing like really great results. And I at that point lost like 100 pounds myself. And that's when I met Beachbody. And that was about 2 years ago. And I said to Beachbody, like, I have this amazing system. I have an amazing approach. It works incredibly well for thousands of people now that I've worked with at UCLA and in private practice and myself. Let's launch it. And UCLA said, it's awesome. It's great. We want to do it, but we're going to take our time and make it even greater. And in the past 2 years, I've been working with Beachbody. We have like tested it now on hundreds of people and really like optimized the system, the approach, the tools, the resources, and enhanced it and took it to a whole nother level. And now we're seeing, that average weight loss, I was seeing like 25 pounds in 12 weeks. We're now seeing closer to, 7 to 8 in most of the test groups. So, and that brings us to today. So it's really, really been a journey. And I'm so excited for now all of you to do it too.
We are so excited. We've been like chomping at the bit, and the people that we've seen little bits and pieces of it in the test group, it's just like jaw-dropping the results people are getting. And their shift in mindset on things.
They're happy.
Things they've lived with their whole lives, and now they're having these breakthroughs. So can you tell us, can you like pull back the curtain a little bit and tell us a little bit more about the program specifically and what we might expect come May?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is a video-based program because you'll see it's, obviously there's printed materials, obviously there's a system, but it's, a 300-page book wouldn't have done it justice. It really is better when it's in a video format because it's going to feel there's 41 videos, and it feels like you're getting like 10 to 15 private sessions with me. So each video, there's 26 videos that break down the system. So a lot of people are confused, like it sounds like a mindset and that I'm not, counting calories and nothing's off limits. Like, will there be structure? I need structure. And yes, there is structure. You wouldn't see the results that we're seeing if there wasn't enough structure and guidelines to feel in control and stay on track and see results. So you're going to get in the first few videos, like, what are my fundamentals for greatest success? And then you're going to learn how to take it and apply it to your own life, because I'm going to break down the food groups. So I know a lot of people have like feel like they have some sort of level of nutrition education, if you've even done like 1 or 2 programs in the past. But I think you're going to highly, highly appreciate the way I break down nutrition in a way that is like super approachable and simple, and like probably way more simple than you've been looking at it. And it's super flexible too. So I'll break down like how to look at the food groups and then how to look at each meal. So it's never like a prescribed meal plan. I've never written a prescribed meal plan for people because I'm not going to tell you to eat like chicken and Brussels sprouts for dinner and then you're going to want to go to sushi. And then when you go to sushi, you're not going to be able to like, I went off and because I didn't follow the meal plan, I cheated. Like, that doesn't exist in this program. It's kind of like, I'm going to show you what you would want at every meal for best energy, for best mindset, for best weight loss. And you can mix and match and apply it to your vacation in Timbuktu, or, you know, you're craving for like Red Lobster or wherever you are, by just using these tools and understanding. And then I'm going to show you how to set up your kitchen for best success. I'm going to show you how to go to the grocery store. So there's 26 videos that break down the system and the program, and they range from 5 to 30 minutes. The longest one is the grocery store, because I literally take you aisle by aisle, showing you like how to read labels, what makes sense, what to stock up on, budget-friendly tips, you know, and just how to go about the grocery store with the 2B mindset. So the coolest thing is that it really seamlessly weaves into your lifestyle, because you're already ordering takeout. I'm going to show you how to order takeout with the 2B mindset. I'm going to show you how to grocery shop. There's literally a video where I'm at a table with a stack of menus and showing you how to order in, or, you know, take out. And then there's videos covering emotional eating. There's also all those questions that you have that you've never had an answer for before. So like, I'm a volume eater. I like to eat a lot of food. And even if you don't like to eat a lot of food, like I have a video just kind of discussing like what to do at like really big eating scenarios, like a Thanksgiving dinner or a Super Bowl, like how to go about it. And or what to do if you just want to eat more. Like I have a whole system for that. There's also a video on how to go about events. So we'll cover daytime events like a kid's birthday party or a sports game, and then follow it with like a cocktail party, how to go to a wedding, talk about travel, like a business trip, like a quick trip, a family trip, you know, like a more leisurely vacation with the 2B mindset. And then all those questions of, but the scale went up, now what? There's a video for that. But I hit a plateau, now what do I do? There's a video for that. But Alana, I feel like I completely fell off. There's a video for that. So there's literally a video like addressing all of these questions and concerns, so you literally can stay consistent with your weight loss. And then there's also 14 recipe videos that you're gonna love, because they're super messy, super approachable, very simple. So many of the recipes have like 5 ingredients or less. They are big, satisfying, delicious meals, and you need no gourmet experience. You're not going to see me ever with like a cup of pre-chopped garlic. If garlic is in the recipe, you're going to watch me cut it so you can see that you can do it too. So it's like me really like, you know, using salt from a shaker, not necessarily having like this, you know, specialty pre-measured thing. So it's super approachable. And you're going to get that. And then there's also a lot of printed material. So when you get the program on May 2nd, you should be able to start watching the videos pretty quickly. And then you're also going to get a box. And the box is going to have awesome tools to accompany the program, a quick start guide, a guide that kind of like accompanies the videos. So you'll watch the videos first, and then you have like a guide that you're going to love that just like helps enhance notes from the videos. You'll get a water bottle, and you're going to get an awesome tracker. And then starting June 4th, there's an app.
I feel like, okay, so I've been a coach for 6 years now. I've done this full time for 6 years. And I feel like you just listed off like every question I've ever gotten that I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, that I haven't known how to answer correctly, or that I've kind of like, I wing it and I try to help them. And I am so giddy excited about this, because I feel like this is not just beneficial to the people that we're trying to serve. It's so beneficial to us as coaches, as this is like our toolkit. Like, you are providing us with what we need. Like, just all those things you said you cover in a video, I am like beaming excited about to have that in my hands to be able to continue to serve the people that I'm trying to help. So that's amazing. I'm so pumped. And I'm going to ask you a question that I think I already know the answer to, but I want to ask it anyway, just in case anyone's thinking it. Who is this for? Like, who's the ideal person that this is for?
Yeah, the whole thing is if you have a question that you're thinking, it's probably because a lot of people else are thinking it too. That's the interesting thing in developing this program. That's why it helps answer so many questions, because they're all ones I had to answer myself. So yeah, keep the questions coming for sure. But yeah, this is definitely effective weight loss program. You know, anyone who needs to lose or wants to lose 5 to 200 plus pounds will benefit greatly from this program, which is literally probably every single person that you see like on the street or anywhere. Like, now we're in a climate where over 2/3 of Americans are either overweight or obese. And a lot of other people who don't have weight to lose probably just need a healthy new perspective on eating well, and a more sensible and approachable way to eating well. So like one thing we've seen in the test group is obviously people have lost like 94 plus pounds in the test groups. And we've seen like really tremendous weight loss, lots of people who've lost 70 plus pounds and 60 plus pounds and everything in between. But also a lot of coaches have been part of the test groups who didn't feel like they had any weight to lose, but they just didn't realize once they did this program how much more positive they now view food in their bodies. Before maybe they were beating themselves up, or they had a whole list of bad foods or cheat foods, or would feel like they had to do a double workout if they had like pizza and fries, and now they realize that's ridiculous and you could have pizza and fries and enjoy them with the 2B mindset and continue to live your life and still see a really healthy week moving forward. So it's really for anyone who has weight they want or need to lose, and then also for people who need a healthy approach to eating and a more sensible and fun approach to eating as well, a positive. And it's also for people who don't want to exercise. I mean, there are a lot of people in this world who are quick to do a cleanse or quick to do a pill or quick to do keto or paleo or vegan or Whole30 or like all these like super extreme eating things, but are of no interest in ever working out ever. And they want like a food first approach to weight loss. So it's definitely really good for all of those people who don't want to exercise or aren't there yet. Or like as someone who was very overweight myself, you know, I know it's not that much fun to exercise if you feel like you have so much weight to lose. So people who don't have time to, who have injuries, who just don't want to, this is a great first approach. And by the way, these are going to be the people who are going to down the line probably be your biggest fitness enthusiasts. Because once you do the 2B mindset and you feel so good and confident in your body and so empowered and you get off those excess layers, you actually typically what we've seen is like you actually want to try out the next Beachbody program and like see what your body can do. So definitely like someone like that. And then also like likely many of you or many people you know who do like to exercise are fitness enthusiasts and are willing to take on any like fitness challenge, but are not seeing the results you really want because the eating is not in a great place. And for people like this, I really have been recommending, you know, if you love to exercise, I would never tell you not to. Like I exercise regularly. I always have. I love it. But I do recommend you put your focus on this first and foremost. So I would not start 2B mindset the same day you start Hammer and Chisel or Shift Shop. Like, you know, you really want to get this, you really want to put your biggest focus on this, because this is one of those things that the more effort you put in, the more effortless it becomes. So if you're already doing something super extreme and intense, but it's kind of like getting in the way of your eating, or you find like you're gaining weight through it, or you're not seeing results because, you know, you're just so hungry when you're doing it, I recommend maybe dialing down from something really intense to maybe something like PiYo or T25 or 3-week yoga retreat, or go to walking or yoga, maybe like lower the intensity of your workout so you can really like focus on this and get your eating into a really good place, and then maybe increase the intensity down the line, or go from, you know, working out 6 days a week to 3 days a week, which is still like in the American Heart Association recommendations for like a super healthy heart and a healthy body. So just make sure that this takes priority. I love to exercise. I don't want, you know, to get a reputation that I don't, but it's really important that you learn how to eat well and how to stay consistent with this on a day-to-day basis. And exercise will then serve as a beautiful complement and enhancement, you know, once you get this into a good place.
That's awesome. So for the people who kind of, we adapt to this program, it becomes our new way of life. It gets easier for us, and we want to tie in the fitness component of it. Will there be videos or kind of guidance teaching us how to like meld the two together?
Totally. Absolutely. That's actually a great question. I haven't been mentioning that there actually is a video talking about how exercise is extra credit. And it's, I call it extra credit because in my personal, you know, history with weight loss, I realized, and then working with so many people, I realized, you know, exercise has to be that thing that, you know, you do to relieve stress, to feel good. It should actually feel like your treat. Like it's that time away from your kids, time away from your family, time away from your cell phone. Like the time to breathe deeper, sweat out your stress. I know that's like my moving meditation where like my whole life falls into place. And so it's a positive approach to it. I think if people have this idea that like they exercise just to earn cake or to earn cookies or to feel less guilty about their eating, I recommend like, really taking your time to focus on this first before continuing. But there is definitely a video discussing how to approach exercise. And then there's also a complimentary video that's going to come out of Lara Ross, the EVP of Beachbody, and the head of FNR, like Food and Nutrition Results, kind of talking about if you are doing the workout programs, like if you're doing Country Heat, like, do you have to make any modifications? And if so, which one? If you're doing this program, like if so, which modifications to the 2B Mindset meal plan would you have to do? Because what we really recommend is like, if you do want to do one of the Beachbody workouts, obviously it's highly encouraged, but you want to stick to the 2B Mindset eating way, and then work those things in. So you wouldn't then be following like the the nutrition plans that have been coming with those programs.
Awesome. That's super helpful. We have a lot of moms on the call, myself being one of them. I have 2 littles, and I would love to know how breastfeeding moms or pregnant mothers or mothers, how does this apply and how can we use it?
Yeah. I'm 8.5 months pregnant. So this question keeps coming up because people are like,
you are? I wore my pregnancy all in my face. I can't see it on you at all.
When you compare my face to the filming of the 2B Mindset videos, you will see that I'm carrying in my face as well. So yeah, I'm 8.5 months pregnant. So a lot of people are, I think, getting confused and think that this program is appropriate for pregnancy, but it's not. It's definitely not. It is a very effective weight loss program. So if you have no weight to lose, like you don't have to be scared that you're going to like get too small. If you have no weight to lose and you like just do the program, you'll just have a better relationship with food. If like you're at your goal weight, you don't have to be scared that you're going to get too small. You're going to be eating lots of food. But if you have weight to lose, like this is a very, very effective weight loss program. You do not want to start this while you're pregnant because that would be unsafe for pregnancy. And it's just way more fun when you're not pregnant and you can really do the program and focus on it. So, anyone who's pregnant who wants to do this program, really encourage them to wait till after to start it. And they'll love it when they do. And it's just way better that way. But they'll know, like, just so people know, if you are not pregnant and you do this program and you lose weight with this program, you learn how to eat better with this program, then when you do get pregnant, maybe next time or down the line, you will probably have obviously like a better education and approach to eating because you have a more positive mindset with it. And you might have like a healthier next pregnancy as you weave in maybe 1 or 2 of the principles of just eating better, but you would not start this program while pregnant. So I want to make that very, very clear. But if like your friend or your spouse is doing it and you want to like chime in and listen to some of the videos, like obviously that's not an issue, but you wouldn't follow it to a T. And if you're breastfeeding though, oh my goodness, like this is amazing for breastfeeding moms. I plan on doing the program immediately the second I start breastfeeding and having my daughter, my son, whatever it is. We've had so many people in the test groups who have been breastfeeding. We've had probably over 20 breastfeeding moms do the program. At first they were so like concerned, and then after like a day or 2 they took a deep breath. They realized they could do the program just as well as everyone else. And one of them, like Ali Dar, I don't know if you know her, but she's a coach who posted today on her Instagram like her shrinking body and her baby getting like super chubby and yummy and delicious looking, and showing how like you can absolutely lose weight with the 2B mindset and you could make ample amounts of milk to feed your growing baby. It was the cutest little thing that she shows her getting smaller and her baby getting chubbier with the 2B mindset. So yes, breastfeeding moms, super, super appropriate.
That is great news because I feel like I have done programs in the past where I have seen my supply start to tank and I get nervous. So it's awesome to know that this will be a program that could.
I really hope like, maybe there'll be like, I'm starting a coach group starting May 2nd. I really hope you're all in it. If there are a lot of breastfeeding moms in the group, and obviously like I'll probably be at that point too down the line. So I could definitely like address a specific video for it, but like this program really gives you all the tools to eat well, but then it's really up to you to kind of take it and to put it into your own practice. So like I said, there's a video on like, but what if I feel like I need to eat more? So, pregnant women would breastfeeding women would, if they felt like they needed to eat more, they would be able to just follow that approach. Or someone's exercising a lot more, like they could just follow that approach because you should never feel hungry doing this program. So it's just kind of showing you like, if you do need more, what would it be and why, and how to go about it. So, breastfeeding women, obviously, like you got to also kind of use your intuition and use all the tools of the program before you because a lot of the women who start who are breastfeeding the program, like the first day or two, they're like, my supply is diminishing. And I'm like, probably because like you're really stressing and overthinking about it, and like give it a day, because you shouldn't be eating like enormously different, but like any change you make, you obviously can make a change for a minute and then it reboots as you stay consistent with it. So we've tested this with a lot of breastfeeding women, so I understand like the first day fear, but then like once everyone comes down and realizes like if they need to eat more or needs to make modifications, they literally like take a deep breath and realize their milk supply is superb while they keep losing weight.
Awesome. That's great. Speaking of being stressed, so I am 100%, and I know tons of other people, I'm a stress eater. I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm bored, and I grew up in a family just similar to yours where like the world revolves around food. Can we talk a little bit about what some test group participants and the people that you help, how they've broken through the emotional or the mental side of things, not just, that's what I'm really looking for.
Totally. And there are lots of videos and tools to talk about stress eating, to talk about emotional eating, to talk about nighttime habit, mindlessly eating. And a lot of people like, and when you join the coach group, I'll take those videos to a whole new level and probably share a lot more of my personal experiences with them that aren't necessarily like in the actual videos, but definitely the test groups like have found it to be really beneficial to when I take the product videos and talk about it in a more personal space. But like we will, there are definitely videos on it. I'll definitely address it even further in the coach test group, but the coach group starting May 2nd, but just everyone know, like, if you're coming from a place where you're binge eating or you're eating a ton at night or you're eating from stress, you will absolutely, completely, totally overcome all of those things the way I've needed to and the way that everyone else doing the program has as well. But just know it's not like you're going to watch the video and then miraculously you're not going to stress eat ever again. I provide the information, but it's up for you to put it in motion to actually see the best success. So I think it's really important that everyone realize that like this is very different, like, because you're not just going to press play and then like you're checked off for the day. This is easier in a lot of ways because you're sitting down and eating and you're not sweating and doing some hardcore workout. But at the end of the day, this is a little bit harder, that it forces you to like kind of have a little more introspection and a little more awareness of your everyday habits so you can unpeel them and unravel them and keep getting stronger along the way. So I think it's really important that everyone realize that this program isn't like other programs and that it's like perfect or not. You can't cheat with this program. There's no cheating. You're either losing weight or you're learning how to lose weight when you see a hiccup. So the big thing everyone should know, the big differentiator between this program and any other that's ever existed that I've ever seen, is that it actually gets easier and more effective with time. So a lot of coaches go into a program, they want to see like the day 1, the day 30 before and after change. But the coolest thing is that like in the test groups with my private clients and beyond, what we notice is that people actually lose more weight typically in month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7 than they necessarily do in month 1. Because it's like the first month, it's learning, understanding, trying it out, testing it out, seeing for yourself. And you might lose 7 pounds in month 1 when you lost more weight when you did some sort of deprivation in the past. But rather than gaining it all back quicker, like you might have done on that program, this program, if you lose 7 pounds the first month, that means that like you kind of figure out your system and you could lose 15 the next month. And you could get even stronger in overcoming these obstacles. So Elizabeth, that's such a good question. It's such a great point. I want everyone to realize like there are tools and resources to approach all this stuff, but it's really in putting the program into practice on a day-to-day basis that you see yourself overcome them. So I always tell people, like, I still have points where like I'm really stressed or anxious, or I have a deadline, or I'm in a fight with someone, and like my gut reaction is to want to eat first and foremost. But then you take a deep breath and you go through the motions that I explain, and you can overcome it. So it's, it's with time you get stronger and stronger and better with this program. So it's not like you're going to watch a video and like magically your mind is changed. It's really being part of a group, having a good coach, running good coach groups, being there to support each other on a day-to-day basis, that the mindset really like clicks and really starts to work.
Awesome. Speaking of that, running coach groups, things like that, since most of us aren't dietitians, can you give us some tips, kind of almost putting yourself in our shoes as coaches, of how we can present this to people? One person made a good point. I saw it in the chat. Like, this is kind of a two-part question. How do we present it to people who might be sensitive about their weight? Like, it's kind of tough to bring up something like this when someone's really struggled with their weight. And also, even like, how can we as coaches best use this program to serve our clients and make sure that they're having these life-changing results that these people are getting in the test groups?
I mean, honestly, like the one thing is that you doing this program is by far the best marketing tool for it, and the best way you're going to assist people with it. Everyone, like a lot of the coaches in the test group keep saying like, their coaches are asking, who's the program for? And they keep saying, you, like, it really is for you first. I really encourage you guys not to sell this like it's another product, but really to get at, I always keep saying like Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, who's like the youngest woman to become a billionaire. She always says like, sell the problem, not the product. Like, this program is like exact proof of that. Like, you really want to do this for you. You really want to uncover your own internal struggles, and because we all have them, and they all kind of come out with this program. You start to like make all these realizations like, wow, that's really interesting, or that's really helpful, or that tool's really, and you start to like really see like which points I make that really resonate with you, because everyone has like different like issues. Some people are carb lovers, some people are stress eaters, some people are, they're just always hungry. Like, everyone just has different habits as it relates to eating. And I think the most important thing you can do is do this for yourself first. And that's why like Beachbody is really recommending that starting May 2nd, all coaches get it and join my coach run group, so I can help you really start to get it for yourself, really start to benefit from it. And then after you have a couple of days under your belt, you start your first like challenge groups, like starting May 14th. So you can better coach it, having that perspective. So I really, really recommend you do this for you first. For the people, who are really sensitive, like your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your aunts, your uncles, your neighbors, your kids' teachers, who like obviously need to lose a lot of weight. I really recommend, again, like, you do this for you, because if you look at the before and afters that we're getting, and you look at the fellow coaches who've been doing this program, this is very different in that, like, yes, the weight losses are amazing, but we've all seen people who've lost weight on like a juice cleanse or a pill, and like they might have a good before and after and their body looks better, but like their face looks like gaunt and they look like super depressed, and like all they want and been dreaming about is a burger. Like, this program is very different. When you see people in the before and afters, and you see the coaches talk about this, it's like an inner glow. It's like this inner sense of confidence and freedom, and like a huge weight off your shoulders as it relates to how you see food, and you just feel freer and more refreshed. And I promise you, when you do this program and you see those kind of results for yourself physically and internally and mentally, people will knock down your door. Like, really, people will knock down your door. That's why I had to do this program, because I don't have enough time to have private clients anymore, because it's literally like people just want to know how you manage to lose weight happily, because that's really not an approach that exists right now. So I really recommend the best way to, do this program and sell this program and get more people on board with it is to really do it for yourself, and uncover and be humble and uncover those internal things that do resonate with you and are effective with you, and then you'll be so much better coaching it and so much better at getting more and more people wanting to do it. I also really recommend that when you run your group, we created a success group guide. I know you guys know them as challenge group guides in the past, but we're calling it a success group guide because it's a little more positive focus, and it's also because it's not as prescriptive as the probably have been in the past. But this success group guide is incredible. Like, we've been putting a lot of time in it. It's going to be like in your toolbox as coaches of what to use. But when you start your own groups, please, please, please refer to that success group guide. It's going to have blurbs of like, you know, suggested topics to talk about on day-to-day basis with your groups. And it's really going to help, you know, guide people through doing this program really successfully.
That's awesome. 2B Mindset. Can you tell us about the name?
Yeah. I know, like, people don't really get what it means. Honestly, like, when running the test groups, we really did not know what to call this for a long time. I think Beachbody told me that they've never been in development this long with a program. I think this is actually the longest program they've ever put in development as it is, but the longest program they ever had in development that didn't have a name for so long, because we didn't know what to call it. We were thinking like food freedom, and like everyone was like, you know, saying all these different things. But it was the test group who kept saying, I just can't explain it, Alana. Like, my mindset's just different. Like, it's not that I can't eat that chocolate cake. I just don't even want to anymore. Like, I'm just thinking so differently. And a lot of people say I get stuck in their heads a little bit. And all my little like sayings and stuff, like, they, you know, I just make you look at food like just a little bit more positively and different. And that's, you know, it just changes your mindset and how you see it. So it's really the test group who just kept saying, like, I can't explain it. I just have a more positive mindset. And so that's why the mindset piece is there. And then 2B stands for my little principles I call my two bunnies. Carl Deichler was not going to name a program two bunnies. And also those are only 4 out of like 1,000 principles I talk about. So 2B kind of stands for the two bunnies, which is like a private joke that you'll get right away as like my foundational principles. But also 2B really stands for like just getting to that weight that you've always wanted to be, getting into that place that you've always wanted to be. And it's a very positive, forward thinking motion and thought process, not guilty, not resonating on the past, not, you know, falling victim of, but I have this condition and I have a slow metabolism, or I always gain back the 5 pounds I lose. Like, really letting all of that go now. Like, I really recommend whatever story you're telling in your head now, like 2.5 weeks out of this program, really start like shifting your mindset and then starting to have more of that positive forward thinking motion, because you will all get to that weight you want to be. Your bodies love losing weight. You're going to learn that really quickly and right away. So, so it's also like kind of represents that, like that aspect of the program.
It's a breath of fresh air to think about it, because I think oftentimes when we think about a new program that's coming out, we're excited to try it and we're eager and we're really optimistic about it, but we also, our mind kind of goes to the lack, like what are we going to have to cut out? Just there's like a little bit of this.
Nothing.
Yeah, like, yeah, so this is just positive. Like you keep saying this is optimistic, positive, like all that good stuff. It leaves you feeling like this true excitement to get right into it. So
yeah, someone just messaged me, like, I'm a big believer that a negative mind always leads to, a negative mind never leads to a positive life. And we all need to be having a positive life. So everything you're going to be thinking on a daily basis is not going to be no, is not going to be not, is not going to be less. It's always going to be more. And did I get enough of that? Did I get enough of that? It's like so much more like abundant thinking rather than restrictive thinking. Like someone just messaged me online, like, will I be able to drink coffee doing this program? And I'm like, no one's taking away my coffee. So like, I'm not taking away your coffee. Yeah.
You know better than to take away someone's caffeine. That's just not right.
Yeah.
So we're big dreamers on this team, and we're always focused on like our individual dreams, our dreams as a team. What is your mission with this? Like, what's your big dream, both with this program and where you're going moving forward with Beachbody as an individual?
Oh my gosh, what a cool question. My biggest dream, my whole life, my literal whole life, like literally, like as an 11-year-old, like I remember writing this on my notebooks. But like, I really believe like I am on a mission to help curb the obesity crisis in America. That is my biggest thing. That is my biggest cause of concern. that is why I get up every morning, in addition to my family and my loved ones. Like, I need to see a dent in this obesity epidemic numbers. And even as a kid, when I was so obese and dealing with this, it wasn't even as big of a trend. It's really in the past 30 years that the obesity epidemic has been rising so exponentially. And it's crazy that like this is something that I cared so much about when it wasn't even as big of an issue. And now it's like growing so much bigger of an issue, and we got to make a dent. And that really excites me in partnering with Beachbody, because in speaking with Carl Zeichler one-on-one, like that really is his foundational principle and mission. And, you know, it's like fitness is amazing, but you know, it's really the eating that has to get under control. You know, a lot of people like to say we have bad genes, we have fat genes and all these things, but it's the past 30 years, and I could drop like so many studies on this, but it's really the past 30 years that our obesity epidemic has risen so like so dramatically. And like our genes didn't change, our metabolism changed. Actually, gym memberships have gone up in the past 30 years. So it's really like our eating and our behaviors and our relationship with food that has to get under control. And that is like my biggest mission. And that is why I love before and after pictures. I love before and progress pictures. I love when coaches and everyone in the test group posts, you know, their 30-day results, their 60-day results. But honestly, like Elizabeth, like I am not happy until it's 2025, 2035. And everyone who did the program in 2018 has kept their weight off and more. That everyone who started in 2020, you know, has kept it off and more. Like for me, it is so much more about sustainability, getting stronger and healthier and better and fitter and smarter every single year. So you know, that's one thing that the coaches, I think, have to wrap their head around, because I think as coaches, it's really about those like short-term results and time and the race and all that stuff. And like, that is not my goal. Like, obviously I love when people lose a lot of weight in a short amount of time, if that like, you know, floats their boat, but like, there's always a good day to be fit and trim and happy and confident and strong in your body. So you want to get there for summit. You want to get there for high school reunion. You want to get there for that wedding. But then like, what about the 4th of July and Thanksgiving pictures and New Year's dress and Valentine's Day? Like, it's always a good day to stay consistent with your positive mindset and your healthy living practices. So that is my goal. That is what I want everyone to see and feel with this program, is that it's livable, and it's not just going to get you fitting into that great dress size for that special occasion, but like to build the whole wardrobe and events calendar around that new, healthy, wonderful body as well.
Amen. We are so blessed to have you as a part of our Beachbody family. And I was already excited, but just having you on, getting to hear a little bit of your heart and your passion, and goodness, you are smart. You just like, you exude all of it. So like, we are so thankful both for you bringing this program to Beachbody and now to all of us, where we can now bring that to the world, because you certainly are living out that mission, and you're going to make one heck of a dent in the world through this.
Let's hope so, with all of your help. Yeah. Amen. And please, everyone, like attend, because I'm not reading the chat, but I see a lot of questions are coming in. Just know that I think every Wednesday for the rest of the month, I'm going to be on the Beachbody Champions page, which I think like everyone should have access to, or find a way to get access to it. Because I think this coming Wednesday, I'm really going to do like a whole deep dive into like frequently asked questions. So if you do have a lot of questions, I've been posting a lot on my Instagram, like some answers to questions, but on Wednesday, we'll definitely like address like hot topic questions, and make sure that they all get answered for you. So you have them.
Awesome. And prayers for a safe pregnancy and
thanks.
Totally painless delivery. And a
last thing on my mind right now.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Good night. And I can't wait to see all your beautiful faces May 2nd in that group.
We will be there. We will be there.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining.